So let's get into the thick of things. We want to start talking about the money because you know what Wednesdays are. Wednesdays is hump days. And hump days, we start to dig into education, money, all of that stuff, right? So let's talk about food. I want to go into McDonald's. McDonald's CEO did an interview. Whole Foods CEO did an interview. But before we get into that, let's talk about the food wars and the food pricing because McDonald's recently released a $5 menu. You a $5 millionaire. I remember when it used to be a dollar millionaire. Those were the days. You can fill up your moped for $5. Hey, let me get $5 on this. You get $5 on a gas pump, that junk gonna be like, and you better not get premium, and you better not be getting gas in California.
Now to the fast food wars heating up as major chains try to win back customers strained by those rising food costs. McDonald's is the latest to launch a $5 deal. ABC's Jacqueline Lee joins us now with details. Jacqueline, of course, families can use some relief. Maybe this could help.
That's right, Rena. Good morning to you. McDonald's kicking off their summer of value in just a few days. This as consumers push back against higher than normal prices. This morning, inflation fatigue hitting consumers looking for a quick meal. From grocery store prices to those skyrocketing fast food meals, as the current inflation rate sits at 3.3%. Food away from home is 4% higher than it was about a year ago, creating a huge buzz on social media.
Can we talk about how ridiculous fast food prices are anymore?
Fast food chains feeling the heat and bringing back the deals. On Tuesday, McDonald's kicking off their meal of the season at participating locations, which includes a double cheeseburger or chicken sandwich, small fries, 4-piece nuggets, and a small soft drink for $5.
So you can get any one of them items. Wait, what? Hold on. Let's start it again.
At participating locations, which includes a double cheeseburger or chicken sandwich, small fries, 4-piece nuggets, and a small soft drink for $5.
Is this a mix and match?
Several other fast food chains, including Wendy's, Burger King, and KFC, also bringing back deals from their value menus for meals $5 or less.
The fast food chains want to keep customers coming to their stores. They need to have people coming. So by promoting a value meal, for example, you're going to attract more attention.
Starbucks with a crave-worthy pairings deal at participating stores, 1 drink and 1 butter croissant or a breakfast sandwich starting at $5. As years of higher prices continue to make consumers nervous about food away from home, fast food companies taking notice of the lost customer loyalty and lower revenues.
Do we think that this is actually a good deal? Like, when I say a good deal, could it be a correction in our habits? Right? Because in a way, it's almost like, is pricing out always a bad thing? Because maybe they priced you out, or maybe inflation is kicking your butt, but it's forcing you to reset what our cultural norms are or what it is that we do on a regular basis that could probably make us healthier. Maybe we need to get back to cooking. Maybe we need to go back to do a reset. Maybe we don't need so many fast food restaurants anymore. Now, I'm not saying that the market shouldn't correct itself, meaning that capitalism is the strongest survive, whoever innovates, all of that. But at the same time, in lieu of my guy, the fading man, our 55-year-old laid off 390-pound man that we did a review video on the other day. Shout out to the fading man. In lieu of that, like, is it really a blessing though? Or like crackheads, we call them baseheads over in Detroit, but like crackheads, are you going to just find a way to get it anyway? It's almost like cigarette smokers. No matter how high the prices went, they didn't stop buying cigarettes. They just huddled up in the cold. It don't matter whether or not they ban smoking from airplanes and ban smoking from inside of buildings and ban smoking from close to schools and raised up the prices and put labels on tobacco packages and made sure when you walk into the store, it's a big old sign that says, tobacco can cause lung cancer. It's going to kill you. And lo and behold, you see people with them packs. I don't know what this does. When y'all turn the packs upside down and y'all do like this. Fentanyl is running rampant in the community. Yeah, I'm going to risk it anyway. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is a reset and a reality check, a good thing or a bad thing, but the McDonald's CEO and the CEO of Whole Foods spoke on these issues recently, and so I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of that.
Joining us now exclusively, the president of McDonald's USA, Joe Erlinger. Good morning. Good to see you.
Thanks so much for having me.
So you just announced this promotion. Restaurants don't cut prices for fun. Did consumers essentially force your hand by being fed up?
Yeah, I've zigzagged the country. I've been in our restaurants. I've sat in focus groups, and customers are telling us that they're really stretched. They're really stretched. They felt the stress of the inflation over the last few years. And so this is a great opportunity for McDonald's to bring them value. I know we're talking about these as the fast food wars. I think of them as the value and affordability wars because that's what our customers want.
Let's talk about the $5 deal, which makes people go, oh, cool, I'll go back to McDonald's for $5. And then you look at the time frame and it says a 4-week promotion. Why not just extend that through?
Yeah, we already see some franchisees are going to vote this further through, and they've already done so in places like Denver and Dallas and Phoenix and Las Vegas and Kansas City. And so what we really want to do is talk about this nationally for 4 weeks, and then we think it'll be a local promotion for longer than 4 weeks.
They usually test it out, and they, test it in certain markets, or they see whether it's going to do well and all of that stuff, or they don't want you to normalize being able to get the food at that price. So they'll bring it in and then they'll bring it out. It's almost like the McRib, right? Which is not even a real rib. Somebody said, Tracy Turner said, $5 to get fat and get high blood pressure, we can do without. No, we can't. Why would we want to do that? So you want to put doctors and hospitals out of business by forcing people to get healthy? No, because we got to make sure that we get the pharmaceutical companies popping. We got to make sure that y'all keep listen. The goal here, guys, is not to solve for the problems in society. The goal is to monetize your ignorance and your weaknesses and your vices. Why would they sell you a cure when they can sell you, a problem to continue to treat the symptoms? Why would I sell you a cure when I can show you how to treat the symptoms? Ain't no money in the cure. Why would I do that? We got to keep more fast food places going. We got to keep the chain running. We got to make sure y'all go to the hospital. Got to make sure y'all take that blood pressure medication. Got to make sure you get that Ozempic. We got to keep the trainers in business because if you ain't fat, then how you going to get a trainer? Listen, it's a whole economy that's attached to this. You think that we going to fix you? Why would we want to fix you? I don't want to feed you no salad. Why would we want to feed you a salad? Ain't no profits in those salads. Get out of here with that. No. Listen. This is what we going to do. Instead of y'all complaining and solving for the problem when it comes to the ingredients and what it is that you're consuming, what we're going to do is we're going to complain about the prices. And this is where the distractions are. This is where the distraction is. Why would we sell you a cure when we can keep you distracted over prices? Interest rates is too high. Okay, so instead of you changing your habits and changing the way you spend money so that you can just pay cash and then stop giving money over to the bank, you advocate for lower rates. You advocate for lower rates. That's what we do. Oh my God, housing is too high. Okay, well listen, let's figure out how we can promote to them and get them tied in. A true capitalist, let me tell you what a person that's going to make a lot of money. Somebody sent me a message yesterday on Patreon, and I'm going to do a whole Patreon about what businesses that I would start if I was starting a new business, right? People that get rich figure out how to solve a problem. But the problem doesn't necessarily have to be solutions-oriented when it comes to actually fixing the issue. Is solving a problem that a lot of times people didn't even know that they had yet. So I'll give you an example. Instead of saying, well, listen, we're going to fix fast food by offering healthier options. No, your task as an entrepreneur is to figure out how you can make the line move faster inside of this particular place. So we're going to create a fry machine instead of offering salads. You see what I'm saying? Oh, well, how can we solve for one of the things that I said that I would open up is I would open up something that is attached to childcare, right? And so instead of us figuring out how we can get families back together so the cost of living can go down and You won't need latch keys, because that was one of the things that I wanted to do. When we had our child, I said, my child is not going to be raised inside of a child care facility. They're not going to have, I'm not worried about running up the bag so much. I'm worried about making sure that I add as much value and context into what my daughter is supposed to be doing and how she's supposed to be growing up, by making sure that she has a stable household. I want to keep the family together. Instead of us solving for the core root of the problems, there's no money in that. So why would we tell you how to keep your family together when we can keep you attached to the system? We want to incentivize you to break your family up, because there's so many different industries that's dependent on it. Not just the family court system, not just the judges, not just the lawyers, but also the latchkey system and the prison systems, and you needing therapy. And so the therapist got to make money, and we need lawyers for when you get divorced, and they going to make money. And, then you're going to be binge eating because you want to feel good about yourself. And so we got to get Briars they money, and we got to get, you're going to have to need a job now. So then we're going to create a whole industry for you to continue to have a job. And so it's a system that ultimately is self-sustaining by feeding off of your problems and your issues. And so why would we solve for the issue? Being a true capitalist is profiting off of the problem. So we want to make it easier for you to transition over this thing. So now we're going to sell the software in order for y'all to manage these court cases better. But if we solve for the problems that's in our systems, then we wouldn't need the software in the first place, right? That's what true capitalism is. Why would I tell you how to get your family back together when I can capitalize off of the child care? And I'm going to charge you an arm and a leg because that's the market rates. Let me continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent.
And like the spot just said, you always have opportunities to go into your local McDonald's and find the local deals that they have. And the app offers great value every day.
Well, your competitors are trying to eat you for breakfast, right? They've announced either a $3 meal.
Your competitor, she couldn't wait to get that out. She was getting dressed in the morning. And she had an epiphany. And she told her husband, I can't wait to use this one. Your competitors are trying to eat you for breakfast. She couldn't wait to get that one out. She's been holding on to that joke for a long time.
I think that's at Wendy's, or they're saying, it's going to be all summer. So, ultimately, that's good for consumers. Do you expect to have to continue to face these pressures and continue to lower prices like this?
I never think of satisfying customers as facing a pressure. I think this is a great thing for our business. It's a great thing for our customers. And so we'll stick to it. As long as our customers need value, we're going to provide it to them.
The thing that went viral was that, I think, that $18 hamburger in Connecticut, and everyone went crazy over it. And you went on to say, well, wait a sec. I can't remember what your exact words were, but you call a lot of this stuff simply not true, that cases like these are outliers. But there is something about perception, isn't there? It's like you're like, I'm not going to stop there because I remember that they have high prices.
Yeah, that is the exception, not the rule. But you're right. There is this perception broadly about fast food prices having gone up. And so, I did write this open letter to sort of, take some of the myths out of the marketplace. But we are obviously really committed to value. And I think that the $5 price point and continuing to lean into value and affordability and making this really the summer of value at McDonald's, obviously will change that perception.
It's interesting.
I wish I could tell y'all about, I had time to tell y'all about experience. Rita was actually, that was her, like when she was in high school, she got a job working at McDonald's. And she was working at McDonald's all the way, and she wound up being like a store manager, and she was then a district manager, and they was actually vetting her to go to Hamburger University. A lot of people are not familiar with Hamburger University. It's over outside of Chicago, and it's where McDonald's headquarters are, and it's where ultimately the franchisees, because she was basically on a pathway to become a store owner operator, franchisees, and that's before we had our kid and all of that stuff. But one day I'm going to share that story with y'all. Thank you, Ash. I'm going to continue to read the super chats in a second. Let me pivot over to Whole Foods CEO talking about lowering prices really quickly.
Let's talk a little bit more about the Whole Foods Market Daily Shop, your version of a convenience store. Talk to us a little bit more about this initial rollout and what locations you're starting in.
Yeah, so we've got our first store that's going to be opening this fall. Here in Manhattan on the Upper East Side. We've got 2 more stores coming here to Manhattan. We're also confirming we've got 5 stores in New York City coming after the very first store. This store is going to be approximately 10,000 square feet, plus or minus, depending upon the location. So it's about a quarter of our traditional Whole Foods Market store. And our goal here is to make it easy for customers to do a quick fill-in shop, grab-and-go food. The Juice and Java program, which was mentioned a little bit earlier, it's a quick way for customers to get the essentials that they need on the go. If you look at a place like Manhattan here, it's difficult to add an entire new Whole Foods Market store in a location, and it's a multi-year project, some cases 6, 7, 8 years. Here we can get a site really quickly with 10,000 square feet, open it quickly, and serve some of those unmet needs of our customers.
Yeah, space is definitely a commodity when it comes to this city in particular. So a bite-sized version of Whole Foods, a convenience store. What is the difference between this version, of course, the Whole Foods Market Daily Shop, and the 365 stores that you had a couple years ago?
Yeah, the 365 store was a much larger shop, and it was really aimed on the value customer. And so it ultimately was extending to a different spectrum and trying to expand sort of our customer reach. One of the things that happened when we became part of Amazon is we were able to reduce a lot of our prices. That's something we've been really proud of. And so as we did that step, we really didn't feel that separate format was needed. And so this is ultimately taking the very best of Whole Foods Market, adding it in a smaller version, as you were saying. And our goal is to make it easy for customers to get in, get out. So, the Columbus Circle store, as mentioned just a bit ago, it's a really large store. A customer who wants to just go and grab a few items, this daily shop format is going to be allowing customers to get in, get out really quickly. And at the same time, you can go to one of our other stores and do a full shop when you have a chance as well. So we see a lot of customers shopping across both of these formats as we go forward.
So when it comes to the daily shop, it sounds like it's the format that is the differentiator. It seems like the prices themselves will be similar to what you would get in the full Whole Foods.
Yes, and we're going to have, roughly 50% of the items we carry in our stores. There'll be less facings, but the essentials of what you need for everyday grocery shopping will still be made available. I know folks talk about it as being just a convenience shop, but the reality is this is sort of convenience plus. So think about all the essentials you need for grocery and a ton of on-the-go types of food, beverage, drink, etc. So it'd be a great way for customers who are in a hurry and still want to eat the high-quality products that we carry at great value.
And I hear what you're saying about, I appreciate the clarity that this is different from the 365, that once you were bought by Amazon, it sort of eradicated the need.
Why do y'all say that Whole Foods is lowering the quality of their food? I don't understand why y'all think that Whole Foods. Last time I've been in the Whole Foods, they had some dope food. Like, it was good. It was expensive still, but last time I like to go to Whole Foods when I like to go and look at and get kind of like old school, like back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I'm talking about even before my time. I'm talking about the 70s and the 60s, where people bought what they wanted to eat for the day and they didn't shop for the whole week. You see what I'm saying? So I like to kind of go into Whole Foods and then get food, the hot food and stuff like that. We got one down here in downtown Detroit that's literally right down the street, probably a block and a half over, that's across the street from me. Y'all think that Whole Foods quality is going down? I haven't seen Whole Foods quality go down personally for me. So it looks pretty much the same for me, but I don't know. We'll see.
For that lower price tier. But that being said, are there any lessons that you took away from the 365 experience applying it to this rollout?
Absolutely. One of the things that we really focused on was ways that we could simplify some of our experiences. These stores aren't going to have some of the same full service models, again, being a little bit smaller. So we took a lot of lessons learned from the experiment that we did with 365.
And we've been talking about pricing, and I want to talk about pricing a little bit more because, of course, inflation, even though the rate of inflation has cooled down, the level of prices is much higher than it was, especially on essentials such as food. And I'm wondering whether that's worked its way into the Whole Foods psyche at all, whether you've lowered prices or how you've tried to adjust around just the reality that inflation has been so hot for so many years.
Yeah, one of the things that we're really proud of this year is we've actually reduced across an average store 25% of our prices. We've also really honed in on what we call our...
I don't know. Kenya from Cali said the Whole Foods hot bar is going down tremendously. Maybe that's just over there where you at. I haven't noticed any changes. At all. I haven't noticed any changes whatsoever. So the Whole Foods that I go to, Tia, is closer to actually where I live out in the suburbs. It's over in West Bloomfield, off of there of Northwestern Highway and Orchard Lake Road, over there by J. Alexander's. So if you over here in Metro Detroit, or if you over, if you're familiar with Oakland County, then you know where I'm talking about. So it's over by J. Alexander's, over there by Red Coat Tavern and stuff like that. So that's kind of where the space is where I operate outside of Detroit. But I don't know. I haven't really experienced it going down at all. Maybe it's location specific, and maybe it's also based off of the workers, because it's hard to find good workers or whatever like that. So, yeah, I haven't experienced it. Anyways, let me go ahead.